Hello, my name is Caleb, and this is my country presentation video on Switzerland. Let's start with the Swiss flag. The flag of Switzerland is comprised of a red background with a white cross in its center. This white cross represents their strong religious beliefs. The Swiss flag is one of very few national flags that has a square shape as opposed to the typical rectangular shape. Traditionally, the Swiss flag stands for freedom, honor, and fidelity. The Red Cross adopted a reversed color scheme of this flag to honor the Swiss nationality of its founder, Henry Dunant. Location: Switzerland is landlocked in Europe. It is surrounded by France, Germany, Austria, Italy, and Liechtenstein. Some of the main attractions in Switzerland include the Matterhorn, which is one of the tallest mountains in the Alps, coming in at 4,478 meters. Lake Geneva is another popular attraction in Switzerland. It's on the Swiss-French border and is one of the largest alpine lakes, as well as the European seat of the United Nations. Population and geography. Ranking number 99 in population globally, Switzerland contains 0.11% of the world's population. That's about 0.1%. Estimated at 8.5 million people in 2019, Switzerland is not a huge country. It's comprised of 15,940 square miles of unique terrain. It's divided into three main geographic regions, with the Central Plateau sandwiched between Jura and the Alps. In the northern part of Switzerland lies Jura, a limestone mountain range created during the Jurassic period over 100 million years ago. Jura is one of the most fossil-saturated areas in the world, with an estimated 13,000 fossils that were discovered between 2002 and 2011 alone. The Central Plateau extends from Lake Geneva, bordering France, all the way to Lake Constance on the German-Swiss border. It mainly contains rolling hills, river valleys, and lakes. All this water and rolling hills creates the Rhine Falls, one of the largest European waterfalls. To the south lies the Alps. Consisting of nearly two-thirds of Switzerland's landmass, this rugged terrain contains 1,800 glaciers that provide water to the North, Black, and Mediterranean seas. Swiss's government. Switzerland's direct democracy is really cool. It's one of the only governments in the world where citizens may challenge any law voted by Federal Assembly. Unlike many other European countries, and even globally, there is no prime minister, no president. The citizens of Switzerland are the pinnacle of power. History. In 1291, the very first Swiss Confederacy was formed. It lasted relatively peacefully until 1798, when Napoleon's army sparked a revolution. In 1815, the Treaty of Paris included a clause, the Act of Neutrality of Switzerland, making Switzerland a neutral state. Now, don't confuse this with pacifist, because they're not. They're just neutral. In 1848, the Swiss Constitution was signed. In 1863, the International Red Cross was founded. It's still one of the biggest humanitarian efforts that stands to date. In 1934, the Banking Secrecy Act was signed, providing anonymity to account holders. That's why everybody always talks about Swiss bank accounts, because they can't be traced. In 1971, women were granted the right to vote. That's correct, 1971. Switzerland is still a little bit behind and struggles even today with equality between men and women. Culture. Two-thirds of the Swiss population are Roman Catholic or Protestant. Even though Switzerland has no state religion, this is definitely the dominant religion in Switzerland. Customs and beliefs. The Swiss people are known for their wealth of cultural activity and tradition. Traditional Swiss folk music is commonly played at a wide variety of events. People love to dance to Swiss folk music. Alpine farming is still practiced today, and it can be dated back to almost 4000 BC. Languages. Switzerland has 4 official languages. They speak French, German, Italian, and Romansh. Romansh is around 1% of the Swiss people's chosen language, but it is still something to consider. Sports and recreation. Switzerland's Federal Office of Sports is an all-encompassing organization that promotes sports and exercise in all age groups. 1 in 4 Swiss citizens are active members of a sporting club. That's pretty cool. Due to the varied landscape, Switzerland offers a wide variety of recreational options. Though winter sports are enjoyed throughout the country by all of the Swiss people, football, or soccer here in America, and ice hockey are the most popular today. Here are some of the Swiss holidays. They celebrate New Year's on January 1st, Easter and Easter Monday, Ascension Day, which is 40 days after Easter, and then on August 1st is Swiss National Day, on December 25th and 26th, Christmas. Their currency. Switzerland uses the franc. It's the only official currency in Switzerland. Even though the euro is accepted in a lot of places there, it's not accepted everywhere in Switzerland, so they have the franc. It's nearly equal to the United States dollar, with a 1 to 0.98 conversion rate. There's the franc symbol, kind of resembles a dollar sign in the way that it has lines going through it. Some people write it with 2 lines going through it, just like some people write the dollar sign with 1 or 2 lines going through it. Imports and exports. Switzerland has a free trade agreement. Some of their exports, they mainly export gold, watches, and pharmaceuticals. Gold comes in at 20%, pharmaceuticals 11.5%, and metal watches 5%. Switzerland exports a lot of watches. Germany accounts for 17% of Swiss exports, while India and the United States account for another 20%. Some of the Swiss imports, they mainly import metals, machinery, and chemicals. Gold accounts for 21% of their imports, and yes, 20% exports, 21% imports. They're importing only 1% more than they export. They import 6% medicine, and then 5% cars and car parts. Switzerland is huge on technology. It's actually a place that a lot of people send new technology to be tested because the Swiss people they're very fond of it. Nearly a quarter of Swiss imports come from Germany, while Italian goods are 11%, and the United States imports 10%. Economy. Switzerland's GDP is $678.9 billion US dollars. Their GDP per capita is $80,189 US dollars, which is one of the highest GDP per capitas in the world. Swiss unemployment rate is at 2.5%. Switzerland is up, their GDP is up 0.2% from its previous GDP growth rate. Their inflation has fluctuated somewhere around 0.6 and 0.7 since the end of 2018. Historically, the unemployment rate, that's the top graph there, is low compared to recent years. And their GDP growth, which is the bottom graph there, is bouncing back from the decline in 2016, where it actually dropped quite drastically. Here's some stuff to know when doing business in Switzerland. Though Switzerland has 4 national languages, and the Swiss people tend to be very ethnocentric, meaning they have strong beliefs to their own culture. So even though they speak 4 languages, they're very diverse, they're also very ethnocentric. Due to this, the Swiss are cautious towards outsiders, especially when doing business. Even for social gatherings, the Swiss tend to meet by appointment only. They're very punctual people and abide by the "if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late" mantra. The Swiss dislike impoliteness and unnecessary display of wealth. So you don't have to dress very fancy to impress them. You don't have to show that you have wealth because they actually dislike that. And though they don't dress, they don't appreciate business casual though. So even though you can't be displaying your wealth, you also can't be too casual. They prefer simple, clean, and quality clothing in their business dealings. That's all, folks. Thanks for listening to my country presentation video.